So your girlfriend is pulling away. Oops, you did something, but you don't know what. So she's starting to pull away, right? Could be all kinds of reasons, but most likely it's because you did something or said something. So what do? In this video, I'm going to reveal 3 tips on what you can do when she starts pulling away. And I'm going to save the best for last because number 3, I'm actually going to share a personal story as an example of how to handle a situation when she starts pulling away. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and a notification button because I'm dropping multiple videos every week. All right. Number 1, do not react. Many of you guys, as soon as you sense that she's pulling away, what do? Well, you start to chase, or you react in a way where you start to whine. You ask her, oh, is everything okay? This kind of stuff, right? Remember, just like she has options, you have options. There's no need to react because she might be being passive aggressive or she might be testing you. And more times than not, when a woman starts to pull away, it's a test. Yep, it's a shit test. She's trying to test to see how much of a leader you are, and most importantly, how much of a man you are. Are you alpha enough to even say something, to check the behavior? How are you going to deal with her pulling away, okay? So the number 1 thing you do is not react in the moment. Just give it a little bit of time, and now I'm going to go into number 2 and number 3, but number 3 is the most important one, right? So number 2 is to not chase. And I mentioned this, right? She pulls away, fine. Let her, right? An example of the pulling away thing. Let's say you've been texting every day, kind of on a regular basis, and all of a sudden because most guys do this, you text her, good morning, hope you have a great day. Nothing. Crickets. And now it's the afternoon. Crickets. And a lot of you guys will text again. You will double text. You'll say, oh, hey, are you okay? Maybe she's busy. But let's in the case she's pulling away because you said something or did something, whatever. Or maybe Chad has just walked along and asked her out on a date and now she's interested in this guy. So you've texted her good morning and you've said, hope you have a great day. She doesn't respond. It's now afternoon. It's now evening. And many of you guys fall into this trap because it's a shit test. Like I said, she's also trying to test, is he actually going to double text me? Is he going to say anything? So you say nothing, right? Because you've sent the text. Now it's the next day. I would not text her a second time. I will not do that. So now it's the second day. Now you should text her again, but wait until the afternoon. The afternoon you text her and say, hey, did you get kidnapped by aliens? Something funny like that, right? Like, don't take it seriously. If she doesn't text you back after that text, well, most likely she's checked out. She's not interested anymore, right? Or maybe she lost her phone. There's exceptions here, but that's rare. Usually it's because she's checked out, she's not interested. So what do? You do nothing. Just like point number 1, you don't react, you don't do anything. And point number 2, you don't chase. Why? Because you have options. She's checked out. Okay, fine, whatever. You move on. Remember, it doesn't matter how long you've been dating. And it would suck, okay? I get it. But you have options. And most importantly, if she's not into you, man, it's not worth it. It's not worth chasing. It's not worth sticking around, sticking it out, and being now a doormat because she's got control over you because you're chasing her and she can pull away and you're going to come back to her. So the number 3 most important thing is this one, and that is to check her attitude. Now, pulling away could mean different things, right? It could mean on the one hand where I gave an example where she doesn't text you back as much. She's non-committal on your plans for the weekend. So you say, hey, look, why don't we go out on Friday night? And she says, oh, can I get back to you? Come on, can you get back to me? You know your damn calendar. She's just looking for a better option, right? This has happened to me so many times, guys. I don't buy that. I just go, okay, fine, no problem. She's not going to hear from me again. She's got to now chase me. So what do you do when it's more of an attitude thing? So let's say she's pulling away, and unbeknownst to you, you don't know what you said, you don't know what you did, but she's pulling away. So here's an example, the story I told you I'm going to share. A few weeks ago, and I've been dating this person, okay? A few weeks ago, and this has been 6 weeks of dating, okay? A few weeks ago, I saw a friend of mine when I was out, and the friend of mine came up to us, and I said, oh, this is my friend so-and-so. And I introduced the girl I'm dating to my friend. And I said, this is my friend. I said the word friend, so-and-so, okay? We had not had a conversation about, are we exclusive? Are we monogamous? Are we boyfriend, girlfriend? So I wasn't quite sure how to introduce her. So I said friend. Well, her body language changed. We go back to my place, and she's being a sourpuss. Something's going on. And I'm kind of thinking, maybe she didn't like me introducing her as a friend. So I brought it up. I said, hey, the mood seems to be off. And did I say something that got you triggered earlier? And she said, yes, you did. And I said, okay, what did I say? She said, well, you introduced me as your friend. And then I said, well, okay, no, I appreciate you bringing this up because we haven't had a conversation about it. So I wasn't sure how to introduce you. So she starts getting upset, and she's like, well, we have been sleeping together and all these things. And I said, well, look, I wasn't sure where we stood. I didn't want to just make an assumption that you're my girlfriend when maybe you didn't want to be. I don't know. We should have spoken about it. So this is actually a good opportunity for us to have this conversation. So then she says this, in terms of pulling away, this is a perfect example and of an attitude problem. Then she says, well, moving forward, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to see each other as much. We're not going to text each other as much. We're not going to have sex as much because let's just be friends. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Okay. So her reaction was not called for. But guys, this is how you deal with it. Just like if there's no excuse, like for her to not have sex with you that night, you've been dating for a while, and it's a Saturday night, she doesn't have to get up in the morning, and she said earlier, yes, we're going to be intimate later, and now she rejects you, okay? So let me get back to the rejection thing with sex, but I'll focus on this story first. So this is how I dealt with it. So she's given me all these line items about none of this, none of this, none of this, and I said, okay, well, I guess this is our last night together. And tomorrow morning, you can pack all your things and take everything with you when you go home. Boom, like that. Okay? She she's in shock now. And starts to backtrack and says, oh, well, I don't know why you're getting like that. And later, she starts to cry, right? And then she's realizing that what she just did, now this could be the end of us dating. She totally turned around. She did a 180. We end up being intimate that night, and everything is cool now. So fast forward a couple weeks later, after that incident, everything's cool because you need to let her know that you're willing to walk away. And as harsh as that seemed in my story, that's how I roll. And if somebody comes at me with this attitude, or back to the example I was talking about with rejecting you of sex, you've been dating and there's no reason for her to reject you. She doesn't have to wake up the next morning. And she said earlier, yes, let's get it on tonight. And then she's just pulling this attitude that she doesn't want to be intimate with you because maybe you said something or did something earlier in the day. Well, how I would handle that situation is I would say, like, let's say you're in bed and she's rejecting you. And I would say, look, the vibe is off. And because the vibe is off, why don't I get you an Uber home? I'm telling you guys, every single time I've said that in that particular situation, things turn around. We end up having sex. And she realizes, wait a minute, he is working away. He's willing to walk away and he's not playing. Okay? So That's how you deal with women pulling away, and especially when you're dating, because women will do this as a test. And like I said, I'm going to repeat the 3 things. So number 1, you do not react, you do not chase, because why chase if she's just being passive aggressive or she's just not interested in you? And number 3, you need to check her attitude when she comes at you with bad behavior. All right, hope you liked this video, and we'll see you next time.